Barth, I think a Barth, B-A-R-T-H motorhome just went by from the early 1960s. You can rewind the tape and look at it. Yeah, and they were pulling like a 1970s boat. A classic mint condition Barth motorhome just went by. They're very, very rare to see out on the road like this. Amazing. got any sandwiches in there I could have? Probably not, huh? Any Bratwurst with raw onion and green olive? You don't need cheese because the bratwurst is so fattening. The Inn at Spanish Head. Everybody seems to love that expensive motel back there. That guy had specially rigged up the front of his bike to put his full-size dog in. So he's riding his dog 400 miles down the Oregon coast. Wow. That's a guy who loves his dog. And a dog who loves his guy. The guy driving that Jeep just can't stand it. He had to pass me like 6 miles ago. And now 6 miles later, he's 1 car length ahead of me. Let's see. 1 Mississippi. Yep, 1.5 seconds ahead of me. And when he saw me, he had to get in front of me again to prove that he is mentally superior in the driving mode. Oh, man. People. You're going way too fast. And you're completely out of control. Look at this guy in the white truck here. Now watch this. I'm gonna be nice. Watch. I'm gonna let him go in front of me. Imagine that. Of course, maybe I'm only doing that on the video to make myself look good. No, if you let him go, then there's less chance of an auto collision, a wreck. Here's one of my favorite stores on planet Earth, the Prehistoric Fossil Store in Lincoln City, Oregon. You see this guy in front of me? I let go. He's a whole 1 car length ahead of me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't put me behind anyone else. Matter of fact, I'm going to roll down the window here and catch myself a nice warm breeze next to the ocean. It doesn't matter if you're going to work, retired. You don't have to live this way. People going to work are out of control. People who are retired are out of control. They're going faster than everyone else, like crazy people. That guy back there was holding his wife's hand. That's nice. They were like 60 years old, holding hands. Aw. You just don't see stuff like that all the time anymore. You know, I'm telling you, you're missing, and I'm not making this up, you're missing about 30 to 40% of your life because you're zooming right past it. The reason you missed it is because you never even saw the thing that was right in front of you. Look at all this new housing. I bet that's not cheap. Unless it's all government subsidized. Someone was yelling back there. If you want to get somewhere early, then leave early. Go to bed early. Turn off the TV. But you're not going to do that, no. There's an old guy, an old geezer riding a mountain bike with American flag on the back. That's how he gets around town. I know retired people. I know an old retired lady who's got an electric bike. She stopped driving her car. She got a really nice car. She says, oh, I love my little scooter now, my electric bikes. I love my scooter, my electric bike, Dave. She spent like $2,000 on it. She'll ride that for 5 years. She only rides it about 5 miles a day. She loves it. She totally loves it. You see that hopped up Camaro from the late 60s? I think it was a 67, 68. I love my electric scooter. Makes me feel young. Whoa! Those two homeless hippie people, they think they're hippies because they got a bun on the top of their hair. They're just pretend hippies. But they do have a really nice motorhome right there, and they beg. They're only 35 years old. They professionally beg for money. They're not ashamed either. They got no shame at all. Nobody's got shame left in this world. They've been there for 3 months, and they got like a $25,000 motorhome right there. So why doesn't the guy, shave his man bun and go get a job? Right there at the Safeway for $16 an hour. Because him and his wife make about $35 to $50 an hour begging for money. Why would he go get a job when people keep coming out and giving him all the free items? Now, however, this story's not going to end like you think. Let me tell you what the catch-22 is. The story between the grasshopper and the ant. The ant diligently worked at minimum wage or above, and kept working and working and working. All spring, all summer, all fall, all the ants working together, storing food underground. And then winter came and froze the top of the ground, and all the ants were down inside their hole, their maze of tunnels, with all their hard work, all their friends and family, and all their stored up food. And they were all fine. Well, the grasshopper, like that homeless guy, kept begging for money, hopping around in the middle of the summer, laying on the lawn chair. He had a sign, need some food, need whatever you got that's free, give it to me. Whatever's free, give it to me. Well, then winter came, and the grasshopper, there was no food left. So he started knocking on the little tiny hole of the ants, and said, give me some of your free food, because I was lazy. And the ant said, we can't, you won't even fit in this hole. We can't feed you, and we can't unfreeze the ground until spring. And then the lazy old grasshopper died. Whoa, this guy's coming right back on me. Doesn't even know I was here. Then the lazy old grasshopper up and died. That guy might be making $40 an hour, begging for money, getting food, on and on and on. And it might look like, well, that guy's ahead in life. Not true. Not true. Wait till the end of the story. When his motorhome breaks down, Donald Trump cuts back on welfare, free health care, food stamps, subsidized housing goes away. They start kicking you off the streets like they're doing now. And then when the economy goes down, people stop giving away free money. That guy's walking down to the beach with a can of Coors beer in his hand. At 9 a.m. in the morning, he has a Coors beer. I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you. Stick to the old system. Get a job, work, get a family, have some children. Get a nice small condo for cash. Go to the beach. Live your life, enjoy your life. Fall in love with each other. Stop begging for money. Stop begging for food. Stop begging for freebies. Stop begging for other people to pay for your stuff. Well, remember that what goes up always comes down. The stock market's going to come down. It's guaranteed. And the Bible says laziness always has a payment date. But the lazy man won't have the money to pay it. This is how God comes along to the lazy man and crushes his entire life to see if the lazy man will finally turn back to God and mend his ways. You can't stop it. If you're lazy and a sluggard and you look at God in the face and say, I'm take it easy and just build new barns, and I'm going to just sit here and just enjoy just sipping this, these Mai Tai cocktails all day. Yeah, with my honey, my sugar honey here, my woman, and I'm just going to get all the free stuff. But you're doing that to God's face, and he's going to come along one day and say, hi, how you doing there, lazy George, lazy grasshopper? I'm going to send a real hard winter, and the payment is due. The payment will come due because God will force it to come due. Because he loves you and wants you to turn away from your evil ways back to him. So anybody can go out and be lazy for a while, or a season, or 3 or 4 years. We see it on the internet. People lazy for 10, 15, 20 years in today's society. But believe me, I'm 63 years old. When you get older, God demands a payment. With every single person who goes over 45, 50 years old, payment starts coming due in ways that you never even imagined.